welcome to the Majorly Undecided podcast. I'm your host, Kat Klaus. I hope that everyone is staying safe at home. We are all at stay-at-home orders here in California and across the nation. Because of that, I have decided that I want to give you a few tips today, things that you can do from the comfort of your computer or at home to get a little bit closer to determining what a good major would be and or a good career. So how do you translate that major to a career is a big question, but then also where do you even decide on a major? Where do you even decide on a career? So I want to give you some quick things that you can do at home that don't take a crazy amount of time, that don't require any human interaction, that you can do while you are staying at home and staying safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's get started. The first thing I want you to do, and this might seem like the most basic and obvious thing in the world, but you would be amazed at how many people don't do this, is I want you to utilize Google. I want you to go on Google and I want you to type in whatever career or major you're leaning towards, or you're interested in, or you've heard that maybe you'd be really good at that. I want you to Google that and see what pops up. And I want you to start just exploring a little bit. You'd be amazed at how many students have told me that they are interested in a certain area and they haven't done any basic research on what that career entails, or how that major translates to a career, or what is involved in doing that on the day-to-day. Google is an amazing resource for that. I am a millennial who was the OG millennial. I remember we didn't have Google, and that ages me a lot, but Google is an amazing resource. You can also use question and answer forums like Quora, and I'll put this in the show notes for you. Quora has some incredible answers about what people do for a living. So if you're interested in a certain area, you can use Quora as a search engine to get more information about certain careers. Now, Quora is a website where users submit questions and then other people answer those questions. And actually, the better you answer those questions, the higher or more quality your profile is in Quora. But I found some incredible answers from people in the industry who are willing to share, from professors in different departments who are answering questions about their majors and things of that nature. So I would highly recommend that you use your online resources to just start doing some basic research and read up everything you can, because as you're starting to read, you can gauge your interest level in what you're reading. If you think that you're interested in going into psychology, but you're not sure what you would do with it, and you start reading up about the different areas of psychology, and that you could go into clinical, or you could do a little bit more cog-sci, or you can, be a psychology major and then go to med school, or you could be a therapist and things like that. If you are digging a little bit deeper, you'll see all of these possibilities open up. And as you're reading about them, think back to yourself and ask yourself, does this even sound interesting? And if it doesn't, investigate a little bit more. Maybe there's another area there that will gauge your interest. It's the easiest thing that you can possibly do, but so many people don't do it. Just do a little bit of online research. Google, click around a little bit, read up, and see what you can find about a major or a career. So that's the first one. The second thing that I highly recommend that you do is to take an online class in an area you're interested in. Now, there's a lot of different resources for this, like Udemy, Coursera, edx.org has some amazing Ivy League classes in like 22 different subcategories of subjects. But if you're thinking that you are interested in an area, taking a class in that area will help you get a little bit more information as to whether you are interested in that subject. For example, I highly recommend all of my students who are considering engineering to take an edX.org engineering class, Intro to Aerospace, Intro to Mechanical Engineering, because that's going to give them a lot of information about that area. But then also when you start picking out schools and programs and things like that, you want to make sure that before you put down a whole bunch of money into that program for college for your degree, that you're interested in the classes that you're going to be taking. And the best way that you can do that is to actually take a class. Now, the thing that's amazing about Udemy and MOOCs that are free online and edX and Coursera are that they're not graded, so they're not going to affect your GPA. If you don't like the subject matter, you don't have to finish the class. And there's usually some minimal homework. I mean, you want to go through the material and really dig in as much as you can, but ultimately it's risk-free on your part. And it's an incredible opportunity to see, are you interested in what you think you're interested in? And if you have no baseline whatsoever, it's a great way to try things out and see what you're interested in. Read through the classes, see if there's anything that sparks your interest, enroll in it, and start taking it and see where that takes you. Remember, we want to take action, right? So this is a great way you can take action. All of these are online. They're free. Most of them are free. I think Coursera, you might have to pay a little bit. Maybe Udemy, you have to pay a little bit, but most of them are free. So don't be afraid to dig into some potential classes. The third thing that you can do is just, again, start exploring. I want you to start looking at different college departments. And the way that you would do that is you could Google the name of a school and see if they have a particular major. If you are interested in a particular major, just Google mechanical engineering majors undergraduate, because undergraduate is your first 4 years of college, and you'll start getting programs popping up. Or maybe your local university would be a great place to start as well, just start browsing their website. When you go to a department's website, they're going to have a lot about what they're teaching you and their philosophy of teaching you. Most departmental websites also have what can you do with this major on their website. So they have examples there for you, so that can spur some ideas. But they also have news and events. Sometimes they have online lectures that you can take. But most importantly, they're going to have a list and descriptions of the classes that you would take in that program. And as you're looking at those classes and reading through those descriptions, again, ask yourself, does this sound interesting? Had I started doing that when I was a biology major looking to go to vet school, I really liked my biology classes in theory, but as I started taking them, I wasn't as passionate about them as I thought I was. And then if I would have read a lot of the upper division biology classes before I decided that I was going to pursue this, I probably wouldn't have declared as a biology major at all, because they just didn't sound interesting. I could not get enough of my history classes. I could not get enough of my communications classes and my broadcast production classes. I ate every single class up that I could get my hands on when I was in college in those areas. And so that's a really good indicator. Also on the department website, you can learn a little bit more about what it's going to take, what classes you're going to take and things like that, but what that sequence is going to look like as you are progressing through college. And then really cool opportunities that each program offers, like research and internships, specialty institutes. See if any of that speaks to you. Are you getting excited about it? Now, you're not going to get excited about everything, and that's okay, but you need to kind of gauge your interest level as you're looking at these things. So that's an amazing way to really get a handle on the possibilities, is to start looking at school websites. Really look in the department, look in certain majors, click around, read things, watch the videos. That's another thing that you can do as well when you're looking at departmental websites, is use YouTube, and use YouTube as a search engine to learn more about the major and the department at that school. What are the cool things that they're doing? You can also use YouTube, like I said, originally to do a little bit more of that searching and investigating. There's probably, for every single possible career out there, somebody's made a YouTube video. So you can look into YouTube as a search engine as well for that. This is going to also seem really easy. It's what you can do with a pen and paper. It's going to require a little bit of soul searching, but you can re-examine what you already like doing and why. And the way that you do that is you can write down on a piece of paper the top 5 things that you enjoy spending your time doing. It seems really basic, but it's a great gauge, and you can think your way through this. So I want you to put number 1, and maybe that's computer gaming. You love gaming. You spend most of your time on computer games. Skip down a couple lines, put number 2. Number 2 is you really like doing puzzles with your family or something like that. Try to come up with 5 things that you enjoy doing already. Then I want you to go back and I want you to think why. Now, this is a hard question because nobody's really asked you this question, but why do you enjoy doing it so much? If you really love gaming, is it the strategy involved? Is it the other people, the teamwork aspect? Is it beating the game, the competition aspect? Are you spending time watching streaming on Twitch? Are you up to date on all the latest games and updates? Do you like the graphics involved and the storylines? Are you really like the music? What is it about gaming that really gets your attention? And this is the reason why I want you to ask yourself why. Because the things that you already enjoy and are the things that you're already really good at, as you start extracting the reasons why and what that exactly is, that can add to the skills that you can put together for a career that you're going to enjoy and you're going to be good at. So for a lot of gamers believe that they have to be coders to create games or be a game tester. But gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There are lawyers for the gaming industry. There are marketers for the gaming industry, project managers, event coordinators, broadcast crews. There are the artists for the gaming industry, the storyline creators, the musicians. There, of course, are the coders. There are so many positions in that industry. And if you're already interested in gaming and you're keeping up to date on everything, you can start translating those skills over to be involved in an industry that you're maybe already interested in. The same thing with medical, with helping people, with being more outgoing and liking social events and going out and doing stuff. That'll tell you that career-wise, you need to be in a situation where you're going to be around people, that you're going to be interacting with people, that you're going to feel like you can make a difference in their lives. And while that might not directly translate to a college or career, it's going to get you thinking about what you're really good at, what you enjoy. So as you're looking at all of these things, if you see a YouTube video that talks about how your the job that you're looking at is mostly in a cubicle and you don't really have any human interaction and you're a very people-oriented person, we might need to look at other opportunities in that area. Okay? So write down 5 things that you enjoy doing and then ask yourself and write down why. If you need help with this, don't be afraid to ask your parents or friends or family members or mentors or anyone around you and just say, I really like doing this, but I can't really figure out why. Can I talk it through with you? Because oftentimes when you start talking through it with somebody, then you realize why you like it. Especially if the other person is questioning, but why do you spend all your time doing that? You're like, I don't know, I just like it. And they're like, but why? You're like, I don't know, I just like it. But why do you like it? Is it this or is it that? Is it the competition or is it the teamwork? Well, I really like being the team leader and like figuring out the strategy for the game. Okay. So what do you like about the strategy part of it? So don't be afraid to talk it through with somebody. If you're a little bit nervous talking to your parents about it because maybe you're afraid of what they might think if you're floating around, some ideas for careers and things like that, don't be afraid to talk to friends or family members or mentors or anyone else. Parents are very supportive. They just want the best for you, so don't be afraid. The last thing that you can do that I think is really powerful is every single industry has some sort of professional organization. And what I mean by that is I'm in 2 professional organizations for my career. I'm an independent educational consultant. That's our title. And I'm part of 2 independent educational consultant organizations. And being a part of those organizations, I get our publications and our newsletters, and we have conferences, and we keep up to date on admissions practices and anything going on in the industry. Every single industry has something like that. The amazing thing about it too is most of them have student memberships. And so instead of paying $1,000 or $300 or the regular membership dues that a lot of professional organizations are charging, as a student, you can join these organizations for sometimes $10, $25, $35 for the year. And what will happen is you'll start getting their publications. So maybe it's a magazine or a newsletter or things like that. You'll start getting updates to what's going on in that industry. And then later, when we're out of stay-at-home orders, you'll also have access to going to their conferences. And at those conferences, they're going to be talking about things in that industry. Not only is it an amazing opportunity for you to really start digging in and seeing, is this an industry I'm interested in? But also, you're going to start becoming more aware as what's going on in this industry. And when you go to these events, you're going to be networking with the people who are going to be educating you and or hiring you later. So it's really a win-win-win. And then if you don't like the industry, now you know before you've spent 4 years of your life on it, right? Every single industry has some sort of professional organization. Also, the bigger ones usually have local chapters. And so you can contact your local chapter and see if they have meetings regularly where you can go to in your area. So some examples of these organizations like the American Psychological Association, the APA, the association, the American Institute for Aeronautical and Aerospace, the AIAA is another example. I'm a member of the IECA and the HECA. So what you can do is use good Google, good old Google, and type in the name of the career or the major that you're thinking of, and then add the words professional organization. And Google will do the work. And then what you can do is you can click on those organizations and just start browsing around the website. What are they talking about? What's going on? What are their news and events? And then usually you can go to membership, and most of them will have some sort of student membership that you can join. If they don't be afraid to reach out by email and ask. You can also follow them on the website, read their blogs and their newsletter online. What's their upcoming conference? What are the sessions in that conference? So you can look and see if that's interesting to you as well before even subscribing or becoming a member. And this will benefit you like tenfold, because if you do decide to pursue this major and this career path, you're building up the network to increase your chances of internships, research opportunities, future jobs, and becoming, getting a mentor and things like that. Everything that you should be doing in college. This is an amazing opportunity for you, and all of it can be done from home. So I covered my 5. So to review, do a good old-fashioned Google search, start researching, especially use Quora and YouTube if possible, because they're going to really help you. You're going to hear from current people in the field, what they predict for the field, how you can best prepare for it, what their day-to-day looks like. You can take a class through Udemy, Coursera, edX.org and start exploring in certain areas. I want you to explore different websites and programs at colleges and look and see what classes you're taking and things like that. Don't be afraid to click around and read. Don't be afraid to go to different programs. Don't be afraid to Google certain programs. So do a little bit of time, online and searching and reading up. Take notes too on what strikes you, what you really liked, what didn't sound as interesting. Examine what you're already interested in with a piece of paper. Talk it through with some relatives or some friends if you need to. But ask yourself, why do you enjoy doing those things? Because again, that's going to feed into the skills that you're going to need or can put together for a career that you're really going to love. And then finally, of course, what we just talked about was to follow an industry, look into joining a professional organization, or even just keeping up to date with their website. These are all things that you can do relatively quickly from the comfort of your own home, room, desk. Doesn't cost anything but time and a little bit of exploration. So again, we want you to take action. These are just a few of the ideas that we have to help you decide on your major. As always, stay safe, keep taking action, and we will see you at the next episode. You can email us, info@majorlyundecided.com, if you have any questions that you would like us to turn into an episode. You can also follow us on social media at Majorly Undecided, or of course on our website, majorlyundecided.com. Thanks again.